So I started my own label at 24. My name is Ameer Brooks. For those that don't know me, welcome to the Ameer Brooks channel. This right here is SoulMotis Saturdays, where I'm going to be documenting my journey as a label owner and just the week by week on what I've gotten done, what's upcoming, and kind of a behind the scenes look at my life as a label owner and a house music DJ. I'm 24. I turned 24 in March, and I recently, as of the filming of this video a day ago, June 27th, launched my first track on my label, SoulMotis. So SoulMotis is the name derived from the word solstice, because my birthday is on the solstice. So that's how that started, and it kind of expanded to the idea of soul, and especially, coming from a background in soulful music, playing soulful house for most of my childhood, and when I first started DJing, that's kind of all I was doing, and up to building the Afro and stuff. So the idea of soul music has always resonated with me, and I wanted to carry that forward with my label. So it's soul, and then heritagely, I have the background. I have an Arab background and a Swahili background and an African American background. So I wanted to kind of encompass that by including a Swahili word. So moto in Swahili means fire. My first, essence of an entertainment company was called Nar Entertainment, which in Arabic means fire, but that was taken. So I pivoted to making SoulMotis, that be the name. So this right here is my studio. This is the cantina. This is the cockpit where everything gets done. It's on the screensaver. It wasn't on the screensaver. I had like a little nice picture up there, but I realized I'm gonna be filming for a little while, so you get it. This series is kind of chill, so I'm not gonna it's not gonna be too heavy editing, maybe some pictures. But this is I want it to be authentically me, and authentically me is kind of all over the place and a bit left. But yeah, so SoulMotis. SoulMotis was started with the help of the one and only David Morales. Literally, it wouldn't be where it is, and how far we've progressed so far without his help. I've always wanted a record label. Just that was just a dream that I had as a child. Becoming a DJ, but that's just something that you say. Oh, I want to be famous. I want to have a record label. And as I matured, the record label always stuck. I don't want to be famous anymore. That didn't stick. I'm good off that. But I just want to make good music and share my energy with the world, and this is the path that I'm taking to do it. So David was the one that suggested me building my own record label, and just so that I can have a foundation of long-term growth. And he helped me with building up this first release and trying to help me understand arrangement and building a track rather than like an edit or a remix. So I was able to go overseas. I spent time learning from David in his own studio in Italy, and then seeing him in Louis and Pacha and Ibiza. And then coming home, I was able to go in the studio with Louis and learn how he does things, and how David's process and Louis' process are the same and how they're different. And that kind of helped me mold my own process, which I'm thankful for both of them for allowing me to be in their lives and taking me under their wing and helping me learn. And everybody who's done that, it's really been amazing, and it's truly a blessing, I have to say. But yeah. So I've been working on Dreaming before SoulMotis was even a thing. It's the track that just released yesterday. And when it was about time to when Dreaming was officially done and I was getting ready to build a label and decided on the name SoulMotis, that's when the work began. So I got an LLC in 2020, January of 2023, I want to say. Did nothing with it, and that LLC is technically still Nar Entertainment LLC. So that's still that. But I did what was called a DBA, a doing business as, instead of creating a whole new LLC. And that was really easy. It's literally just finding the form on the New Jersey website, filling it out, giving them their $50, and going about my business. So I did a DBA for SoulMotis. So now SoulMotis is an entity in the world, and it's its own record label under the umbrella of Nar Entertainment. And the goal is maybe expand Nar Entertainment to include maybe video. If it gets to a point where I'm doing full-on productions where I'm gonna have a video attached to the music, and that would make sense for it to all be under me. I'm greedy like that. But yeah, so dreaming was kind of like that first track that I kind of felt comfortable with to share coming out of working in Ableton, because I was a Logic Pro kid for the longest. Well, first I was an FL Studio kid, then I moved to Logic Pro in high school, and David was the one who actually told me to try out Ableton. And once I tried Ableton, I was like, I'm just gonna stick with Ableton because this makes sense to me. So yeah, so I had been sending him stuff, sending him remixes, and Dreaming he really liked. So when I was able to go over to Bologna, we sat down in the studio and he helped me work out the arrangement kinks, and kind of helped it, instead of just being like a track that just plateaus the whole time and has peaks and valleys now. And he was gracious enough to even offer up if I wanted him to make a remix to Dreaming to release afterwards. And I don't know who would say no to that, but it sure wasn't me. So that's gonna release in about 2 weeks from the filming of this video, July 11th. So I'm very excited for that. Dreaming at first was a djembe track with a completely different chords and all that. And I met Stingray, who plays the congas on the track, in May, I believe. I want to say May of 2024. May of 2024 feels right. It could have been August though. Somewhere in 2024, between May and August. I should have prepared a bit more. But this is me though. This is me. This is who I am. So Stingray, I talked to Stingray and I was like, I'm building tracks, and I might have something that you might be able to play on. And he was gracious enough to be like, yeah, send it to me. Literally within like 10 minutes, I had the congas for Dreaming in my inbox after sending him the track. And from there on, I did one arrangement change, and I still felt something missing. And then I changed the chords and stuff. And then I was like, oh, okay. And that was the version I took with me to Italy and to show David. And that's when we fixed out the arrangement and kind of made it what it was today. And that's when he got his idea for his remix. So that's just humbling to be able to make something that inspires a legend to want to create. Dreaming is much more than a track to me. It's really like a step in my evolution. It's kind of beckoning in a new era for me and a new way of thinking. I have through this process of building this label, being gone through hardships and griefs and trying to push through that to get this out has definitely made me a stronger human being, but was not easy. Was not easy. And and just having a release out, and not only it being out, but just within the first few days it being ranked top 100 on Afro House and Tracksource and Beatport. It's just a blessing, and I just want to thank everybody. I don't want to get too sappy wappy, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, and I just want to talk a bit more about how SoulMotis, how I want the future to go for SoulMotis. So of course my goal is to release something at least once every month. Keep up the pace, never get complacent, and hopefully in the future bring on other young people, that need a platform, that need that stepping stone to show off to the world who they are and what they do. Because now I'm able to do that. I played all around the world. I'm not famous, but people know me, and that's enough for me. I'm content with the support that I get. And I would love for other people to feel that contention. And of course, I'm always striving to be better and striving to grow that's not what, I'm not complacent, but content. Always be happy with who you are at the end of the day. If I'm playing, I always tell myself, I gotta look at myself in the mirror at the end of the day. Even none of these people are gonna see me after this, probably until my next gig. So I have to be true to myself and be true to who I am and be as authentic as I can be, because if I'm not okay with me, then nobody else will be okay with me. So that's kind of how I'm moving about things with SoulMotis and with DJing in general. Moving with intention and moving with a sense of pride in the stuff that I'm creating. And if I don't have that pride in the stuff that I'm creating, then I can't expect other people to want to buy it and want to support it. So yeah, and just to everyone out there who's thinking of doing the same thing that I'm doing, do it. There's enough room for everybody on the boat. The boat's not gonna sink. The open water is here. Come on, hop in. The water is fine. You know what I'm saying? So please, with that being said, I will see y'all next week for next episode of SoulMotis Saturdays. Go stream dreaming, buy dreaming on Tracksource, chart dreaming for me. I need the support. We're gonna get this off the ground. Follow SoulMotis on Instagram, SoulMotis. Follow me on Instagram at the Ameer Brooks. And subscribe to be a part of the journey. SoulMotis YouTube channel coming very soon.